Hello, my friends. It is Wednesday, and that means it's time for our midweek message. Reverend Elisha here. As you may or may not know, this year at CSL Santa Cruz is our year of inner and outer permaculture. And all month long for the month of July, we've been talking about the permaculture principle: use slow and small solutions, right? And over the course of the month, we've been engaging in this dialogue about how it is really the small incremental changes that we make that build up over time that can lead to great change in the world, right? And for many of us, we've seen that in a negative way reflected in the shift in the Supreme Court and the shifting of the Roe versus Wade laws being changed, right? We've seen that slow incremental change by certain individuals in our nation working in a particular direction has eventually led to this sort of what seems like great or catastrophic shift and change in a major direction. And all it took was one more domino, right? We've always heard the phrase, it's the straw that broke the camel's back, right? You can stack up one straw on top of another and they weigh almost nothing and it seems insignificant. And then once it's all piled up enough, things go crumbling down. And there's also a really powerful vision for us. There's a powerful metaphor, there's powerful truth hidden in this, which is that if we are willing to make small incremental changes in our own life, small incremental changes in our community, small incremental changes in our world, those will add up, those will build up, right? And for so many of us, we can find ourselves getting discouraged when it feels like all we can contribute is something small, when the problems and the issues in front of us seem so big. And I want us to remind ourselves once again that everything we experience in the world is part of this collective manifestation, part of this collective reflection of what's going on in our hearts and minds, in our culture, in our collective mind. And it means that each one of us holds a little piece of that. Each one of us can be the straw that breaks the camel's back for good, if you will, right? That one little act of kindness, one little act of consciousness, one choice made with awareness can ripple out in ways that we cannot imagine and that do build up over time, right? Maybe you want to start a spiritual practice. If you just start with 1 or 2 minutes a day of meditating, of committing to that little time of discipline, over time, it will get easier and easier. You'll be able to expand the amount of time that you spend meditating, right? And that over time, those shifts in consciousness, the grooves in your brain, the rituals around the practice itself start to become ingrained and they become easy and the effort isn't required anymore, right? Think of when you go to learn a new language or learn a new skill. You have to start taking in little bites and little bits, learning a word here, a phrase there, a conjecture, all the ways the language goes together. But over time, with practice and exposure, one can become fluent, one can become capable and competent at a particular skill. And so building the world that we want is the same way. It's a little bit every day. A 1% shift here, a 1 degree change in our trajectory, one shift, one change can change everything. And so I'll remind you from last Sunday to ask yourself this one question, thinking about the world that you want to live in, or the healing that you're calling in your body, or the relationship, or the financial well being, whatever it is that's important for you. Name that thing. What is it that you are focusing on achieving, moving towards, or calling in? And then, with regards to that, ask yourself, what is the one thing that I can do today to move myself one step in that direction? What is the one thing that I can commit to today, tomorrow, this week, next week, whatever it is? What's the one thing that you could do to just move yourself one step towards your dream? And then do that one thing today? And then ask yourself the same question tomorrow. I'll see you soon. Much love. Tune in on Sunday.